Folks, you're not going to believe this, but we have David Strait in the house, and we got Chief Marshall Meekum in the house as well. So David Strait, you guys know him. He's a state national intelligence officer, presidential task force agent, etc. Chief Marshall Meekum, state national, basically operates under the unincorporated USA State Federation formed in September of 1776. The credentials, obviously, we could probably sit here for 20 minutes going through your credentials alone, gentlemen. We won't do that because we got an hour. We're going to try to keep this under an hour. First question, the people in our chat room want to know, we're now approaching like 24,000 strong. Between all the platforms, we're approaching like 50,000. The first question they want to know, have you actually met with JFK Jr.?
You know, nobody's supposed to say yes or no to that, right?
Okay. That was the number one question. Please ask him to confirm that he's been with JFK Jr.
Yeah. I figured that's what people want to know. But yeah, you're not supposed to answer yes or no to that yet.
So we're just going to have to wait and see?
You are.
Okay. Well, I'll take that as an answer. That's a good answer. Are you part of the QFS team? And if you are, in what capacity?
No, I'm not really part of the QFS team. I just have a tremendous amount of contacts and high level in banking and outside of the country, and you know, with the royal families and various things. I have a lot of contacts. So.
Interesting. Okay. And do you have a time frame? But your contacts, are they giving you any time frame as to when the QFS will be well on its way? I know there's already some anomalies in play. I've had people call me and say, "Hey, two of my friends just got their mortgage forgiven."
Yeah, it's literally up and running. The banks are all trained on it. They all have it. All the bank tellers have been trained on the QFS. They've all got it on their system at your local bank branch right now. So it's already up and running.
Interesting. You know, it's funny you say that. Somebody just sent me today, this gentleman, Tommy Schaefer. So I'm going to give him some kudos. He actually sent me something from a gentleman who's very big on the internet. He went to the bank and basically was talking to the teller, but they were all listening in. So he had to be very careful. And he basically said, yes, it's happening in June. Definitely, it's being rolled out. That was pretty exciting news that I just put in the room about maybe 20 minutes ago, and people just went crazy. Are you familiar with
a lot of your big banks have already rolled? So
I'm sorry, say that again.
A lot of your big major banks already have rolled it out. I mean, it's already there. So that's really not the issue. You know, everybody wants to know when the NESARA and GESARA is going to happen. They want to know when we're going to get to our gold-backed currency, when the stock market crashes, when the dollar changes, when the global currency reset's going to happen. That's what everybody's waiting for. Everybody wants to know. And right now, the dominoes are falling. They're being put into place. It's all ready to happen virtually overnight. But the people aren't ready.
The people aren't ready.
We need more people standing up. No.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree. Yeah. Chief Marshall, Chief Marshall, if you want to chime in on any of the questions, please, by all means, do so as well. Thank you.
No problem. I just learned from this guy. It's nothing but a steady thing to learn from him.
Well, you know, did you know, David, that we actually have you as part of our Quantum Financial Systems Manual?
Yeah. I get thrown on a lot of those different things. I look at it this way. It's never been about me anyway. It's about saving this nation, this country, waking the people up, getting the people involved, getting their status changed so that they're not 14th Amendment citizens, which was never ratified in the first place. You know, I've got the congressional record showing it was never ratified. And here we've been led to believe we're 14th Amendment U.S. citizens when we're not. We're state nationals. We're free and independent people. We're sovereign. We're not sovereign citizens. That's an oxymoron. And that's people who are making a claim to something that they haven't done the paperwork to claim. You know, they're claiming to be a king when they're not a king. They're not even a squire or a knight yet, you know, and they're making that claim. People who are sovereign have taken the steps necessary to change their status, establish their standing, their jurisdiction. They've taken dominion of their of the law, the land, the air, and the water, and everything they're in, and they know how to subdue it, use it, control it, learn from it. And when you do that, that's when you're truly free. So
Interesting. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Are you familiar with something called the lobster wallet in the digital asset realm?
sure.
You are. Cool.
Betcha.
When were you aware of the lobster, and how did you hear about it?
Oh, I've been aware of it for several years. Like most people, I learned of it online, but I've been aware of it for a long time. Lobster's an interesting wallet system. XRP is a really good currency, but anything that's backed by heavy metals or commodities is going to do well in the future. You know, it's going to be a little volatile. They always are. They go up and down until they stabilize, and they're not going to stabilize until the economy and our political structure stabilizes, our country stabilizes. And what stabilizes our structure is real currency backed by gold and silver.
Totally agree.
Digital's just digital's just an extension of that.
Totally
So,
agree.
The dollar, the euro, and the pound have to fall, and they're falling, and they have been falling for quite some time. The other world currencies are raising. Once they get close, then we can have a reset. If they're not close, they're too far apart, then the reset is too dramatic.
Totally.
So that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
I believe gas prices are high. Biden's in place for a reason. He's in place for a reason to destroy this economy. And when the economy drops dramatically, then we have a chance for a complete reset, and economy will stabilize overnight.
Do you think that he's basically in place, controlled by the white hats, whether he's a clone or a robot? Nobody really knows, but there's definitely some anomalies that you cannot discount and sweep under the rug and make believe that they don't exist. Is it a possibility that he's in place being controlled by the white hats so that we could wake up the normies and get to that $18 box of eggs that I always talk about, so that they could snap out of their media-induced comas?
Well, yes, they all are in media-induced comas and education-induced comas. You know, they went through our kindergarten through 12th grade, you know, and into our liberal colleges. And so they're all in comas, no matter how intelligent they are or what degree they have. And yeah, I do believe that they're there for a reason. It's part of God's plan. Whether it's white hats or not, it doesn't really matter. That's not an issue, I don't believe. I believe it's part of God's plan in order to wake up everyone. We're in the middle of the Great Awakening now, and people have to snap up to the realization that everything that they've been taught, everything that they see, is a lie.
Absolutely.
I mean, which Biden are we on anyway? Our fourth one? Facial recognition software, DNA testing.
Yeah, maybe our fifth one. Who knows? Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
I believe it's our fourth from facial recognition software and digital testing, of DNA testing. It's Biden's not Biden. And the real issue is this: do the American people even know what the name of the current corporation is that Biden is serving? It's not the United States. The United States Corp was bankrupted. It's out of business. It's the White House Office Inc. And Joe R. Biden is the agent of service. It's listed on Dun and Bradstreet number with tens of thousands of subsidiary corporations underneath it. So that's the name of your liberals' new country, is the White House Office Inc. That's your country. And you need to wake up and realize that. That's the corporation you're serving as government. They passed an executive order that they don't even have to register with Dun and Bradstreet anymore, even though they are registered. So they're getting away from or trying to hide themselves more every single day. When in reality, if you look up the United States of America on Dun and Bradstreet, it's listed at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and Donald J. Trump is listed as the agent of service. He is still our president.
He's basically a president in exile, but he runs the military, and this is got a lot to do with that.
Well, he's not exiled. He's the 19th president of the United States of America.
Right.
He never gave up that position.
Well, he's never conceded.
Don't understand. Well, when a president takes office, he takes office in multiple positions of multiple entities. He's the commander-in-chief of the military. He's president of the United States of America, and he's CEO of the United States Corporation, which right now is called the White House Office Inc. Look it up on Dun and Bradstreet for yourself. Don't take my word for it.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm sure a lot of people are going to go to Dun and Bradstreet and do their research probably as soon as they see the video. Let's get back to
this is why.
Go
ahead.
Let's get back to the lobster real quick. You saw the documentary from Bonfire Guy, which is an hour and 44 minutes long, where Trump travels around the entire world and is meeting with corporation leaders, leaders of countries, et cetera, putting piles of files of 2 feet tall of stuff that they got them basically by the round ones. Okay, saying, listen, we got you doing X, Y, and Z. You got to capitulate. You got to throw everything into the lobster. There's a couple of buses waiting outside. There's heavily armed guards. You're going down to the spa down by Castro territory. Is that pretty much accurate in your opinion? That's how the lobster was formed?
Well, here's the thing. We got Guantanamo Bay. We've got Guam. And we've got Terra del Fuege, and call them Guam 2.0 and 3.0. So there's multiple places, okay, that everybody who's a criminal in the world is going to end up. It's that simple. They won't be able to hide.
Nobody gets away with this. Nobody walks away from this.
Well, they have the opportunity to repent.
Okay.
Come to the light, right? It's like Star Wars. Come out of the dark and into the light.
Right. Okay. But let's say I'm a police officer who's basically, I got a family to feed. I'm a dumbass. I don't know how to do anything else. And I'm harassing little old ladies for not wearing a face diaper who are walking their dogs. And I'm harassing people who are trying to eat a meal at a restaurant. And I'm beating people up with a billy club for no reason because my superiors said to do so because there's something called the New World Order. Okay. Are these people going to be held accountable? Yes or no?
Yes, they are going to be held accountable. In fact, if we, the people, don't do it right now, immediately, we're pretty stupid because, all of our police forces in this nation have been under the control of the United Nations for many, many decades. We signed a United Nations treaty in 1945. We signed the Bar Association Treaty in 1947. This nation was captured by the bar. I see you're flying 2 war flags behind your head. You ought to be flying a peace flag, because this nation should be at peace. The gold fringe flag shows a captured flag. And if you look in every courtroom in the United States, it's been captured. All courts in every state is an administrative court under the administrative branch of government, not under the judicial branch of government. So therefore, these police officers are going out, they're creating causes of action. Their cause of action creates a case number. The case number creates a QSUP number. The QSUP number creates a bond in the amount that they want to profit from you. Those bonds are sold through their ISLing number, their International Securities Licensing number, out the back doors of the courthouse into the bond market on Wall Street. And that's how government is funded. Mm-hmm. They're funded when you walk into a DMV and get a driver's license. Your driver's license number is a QSUP. It is bonded. That bond, in the state of Texas alone, there's 20 million licensed drivers. Each licensed driver has a bond for $10,000 renewed yearly, bundled, traded, hypothecated, and sold on Wall Street. That's billions of dollars of revenue into the state. And how many of those licensed drivers actually needed a driver's license? When the Criminal Appeals Court of Texas has said there's no such thing known to Texas law as a driver's license. When the Supreme Court of Texas has said there's no such thing known to Texas law as a driver's license. A driver's license is only needed, and according to the U.S. Department of Transportation, it's only needed by a public servant in the performance of their public duties, by someone hauling passengers for hire, and by somebody hauling goods for interstate commerce. So if you're a private individual leaving your home, going to the grocery store, going to a movie theater, going out to get a pizza and coming back home, or just going to work and back, why do you need a driver's license? You have the right to travel. And that's well settled by the Supreme Court of the United States and many, many other courts in all 50 states. Yet these police officers, police is policy. Police, policy. They're not law enforcement. They don't enforce laws, they enforce policies. Policies made up by private for-profit corporations with Dun & Bradstreet numbers, acting and pretending to be government under the color of law, and anything colorable is a fallacy. And it's also a felony under Title 18, Section 241 and 242. It's a conspiracy to deprive the people of their rights under the color of law. It's a deprivation of rights. See? So all they do is create causes of actions in order to create QSUP numbers, case numbers, in order to create bonds, in order to sell those bonds through their ISLing numbers. And these judges are investing these bonds in our prison systems, and therefore they're profiting from them illegally. That's an emolument violation according to Article 1, Section 6, Clause 8 of the Constitution, by using their position of power for illicit profit or gain.
Yes, and I've been saying that for years. Yeah, I've been saying that for years, that the jail systems, the prison systems of the United States is a for-profit corporation. And people looked at me like I had 9 heads. Yeah. Yeah.
All of it is. I mean, look at it this way. We have roughly 333 million people in the United States. There's 2 billion in China. That's 1/6 the population of China. And we have 6 times the prisoners that China has in our prison system. So if we have 1/6 the population, 6 times the prisoners, 6 times 6, 36, that's 360 percentage points above. Which is the freer country, us or China?
It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good question. From where we're just, let's switch gears here a little bit, if you don't mind, David. And by the way, Chief, anytime you want to jump in, by all means, please, if you got something to say or add to what David is saying, by all means, jump in. In regards to Trump coming back, I don't believe we're going to go to 2024 and he's going to run for re-election. I don't believe that scenario, can it happen that way? Yes. I believe that medical beds are real. I believe he's been in a couple already, and at least he's been maybe rejuvenated on the inside so that he doesn't make us too suspicious by being too rejuvenated on the outside. From where I'm looking at it right now, David, I think it could happen any day, any week now. It's very close. At least that's what it looks like. We've been here before, and then we wake up just to find another 5 speed bumps in the road. And we've been there a couple of times too. So what do you have as far as that information?
Well, first of all, he never left. Second of all, he announced at his last rally that he's back. It's announced on social media he's back. He sent me a T-shirt that says Trump is back.
Okay.
So he's back.
Okay. You got contact with him. I know that you've been to Mar-a-Lago. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I have.
Are you can pick up the phone and pretty much call him, or he has a Secret Service call you and say, Mr. Trump would like to speak with you?
Well, I'm not going to call and bug him. Okay.
Obviously.
But I have the contacts to do that.
Interesting. Okay. So at this point, because I just watched one of your videos yesterday, I put it in the room, and your video said that basically you were saying that Donald Trump is saying to tell the IRS to go pound sand. Okay. And from where I'm looking at it.
Who is the IRS?
The IRS is an illegal enterprise.
They're not registered. I have a letter from the Secretary of State of the state of Texas that has done all the research, and it's a certified letter on the state of Texas letterhead from her office with her seal and her signature on it, showing the Internal Revenue Service is not a registered corporation to do business anywhere in the United States, much less anywhere in Texas. Who are they? Where did they come from? The Internal Revenue Service came out of the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, a Puerto Rican registered company. It was put into place under the Federal Reserve, which at that time was under the World Bank, underneath the IMF, through the Council on Foreign Relations, underneath the United Nations. Ultimately, with control from the Crown Inc. And that's who they were. The 1040. The 1040 originated during the Civil War with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln stood in his presidency and told the people to consider it a gift to help fund the war efforts. The 1040 has always been a gift tax. You sign it under the pains and penalties of perjury by voluntary compliance. So therefore it's voluntary. People don't understand the definition of words, so they don't understand that the words wages and income mean different things. Wages is money earned by the sweat of one's brow, and it's untaxable as per the Constitution. Income is money earned on wages already earned that's been invested. Okay, so that you don't know the difference. Most people don't meet the definition of a taxpayer. Most companies don't meet the definition of a withholding agent, so therefore they're withholding money out of your paycheck illegally. And fiat currency on every one of your notes in your wallet, whether it's a $1 bill note or a 5 or a 10 or a 20 or 50 or 100, I'll say it's a note. It's all legal tender. It's a debt note. The only way we can discharge is with silver or gold. We can't coinage. We cannot discharge anything with a debt note. And debt notes, according to the IRS, are untaxable. The United States Code in Title 26 is the IRS code. And in Title 26 of the United States Code, it says it's not law I mean, start adding it up. Why the hell are you paying taxes anyway? The only fair tax is a tariff. The only fair tax is a tariff, a sales tax on goods and services you buy that are not for life, housing, medical, food. Those things shouldn't be taxed, but everything else should be. And those taxes are to pay for the services that we ask them to provide. And there's 19 essential governmental services we ask the federal government to provide us with. There's services we ask the states to provide us with in the state constitutions. And those tariffs and sales taxes are for that. I'm happy to pay taxes. I'm all for government. I'm just for limited, non-corrupt government.
Totally.
And so I'm happy to pay a tax at the pump.
Totally.
I pay a tax at the pump, gas pump, in order to keep my roads fixed. Right? That's what that's for. It's not to be taken out of my income taxes or my property taxes.
Yeah.
See, they stole all your property anyway. They stole your car, they stole your home, they stole your life, they stole your children. They do it through false and fraudulent doctrines, and they steal. And you don't even know they are doing that. You think you live in a country, think you're free. Well, the best slaves are the ones that believe they're free. Those are the best slaves.
Absolutely. Now, who gets the income tax when the United States people who earn a wage pay income tax? I understand it goes to the UK. I believe it goes to the Vatican. Am I correct or am I off?
It does. It goes through the Council of Foreign Relations, the International Monetary Fund of the World Bank, which is owned by the Vatican and the Crown. However, the Vatican ended their relationship, canceled all corporations, ended their relationship at the end of Pope Benedict's term. The current Pope is no longer the Vicar of Christ, he's the Vicar of Satan. He has satanic marks on his staff. He's remodeled the basement of the Vatican into a satanic worship center. And the crown has been dissolved. The City of London has been dissolved. The United States Corporation has been dissolved. And we have a new Declaration of Independence that President Trump signed on July the 4th, 2020. We have a new nation. But let me ask you this question. Back in 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed by our founding fathers, and there was approximately 7 million people living in the United States at the time, how long did it take for the people to know that a declaration was signed in 1776? Most people didn't come to the conclusion we had a new nation until 1791, 15 years later. So President Trump signed a new Declaration of Independence, July the 4th, 2020. How long is it going to take the American people, even with the advent of internet and messaging and instant gratification, is it going to take how long for us to know that we have a new nation here and to stand up and start recognizing it? Demand that our cities and our counties and our states dissolve the corporations and we come out of her, O ye Babylon. To come out of her, O ye Babylon, is to come out of the corporate construct. And we need to start demanding it at our local levels, at our cities, our counties, and our states. And then we meet President Trump in the middle. And that's what all of it's waiting on. You want freedom, you want NESARA, you want utopia here on earth. You want things fair and an honest justice system? Dissolve the corporations. Because why is a corporation, why would you as a person set up a corporation? To remove your liability, right? Now let me see how that makes sense. Governments that incorporate to remove their liability so no one's responsible for the things that they do and we can't sue them because they have limited diplomatic immunity. No, we, the people, have limited diplomatic immunity. See, you guys got it all backwards.
Yeah.
Most of the American people have it all backwards. We have limited diplomatic immunity as per the Geneva Conventions. We're sovereign, free, and independent people of the states. that make up the Union of States.
Yes.
Gosh, we got to restore a republic, every
I-
state.
Totally in agreement with you, David. I've been at this for 30 years beating this drum. Okay. And now I'm part of that
Yeah, me
17th
too.
letter. Yeah. I'm part of that 17th letter in the alphabet that nobody's allowed to mention because we are on this platform called Communist YouTube, which I hope that, Elon Musk or somebody that's equal to Elon Musk would step up and buy it so that we could restore the freedom of speech. But let's talk about GESARA and NESARA being signed into law. I've heard this from very reliable sources on a global level. And I understand that Xi Jinping is not a bad guy. I understand that Putin is not a bad guy. I understand Bolsonaro is not a bad guy. I understand that Pundi is not a bad guy. I understand that these are going to be the presidents along with Trump, the kings that are going to rule the world. And the world's supposedly going to be divided up to 7 continents as we roll out GESARA and NESARA full-blown, hopefully in the next year or two. I still think it's still going to take a little time because we got to wake up at least 85% of the people. We're not there yet.
Well, I'll tell you what. Back in August, we reached 1 million state nationals. In December, we hit 1.4 million. Last week, we hit 2.2 million state nationals. People are waking up to the tune of more than 125,000 a month in the United States, and they're waking up all over the world. I get calls from all over the world to come speak. It's not just a United States thing. The rest of the world is trying to watch us wake up. And this is not a U.S. thing, but we're the leaders. We, the people, the free people of the world, we're the free people, but we're not. We've all been enslaved as chattel property. Bill Clinton mentioned that in his executive orders. He took out a lien on them, all men and women with arms and legs. I mean, on and on and on. We are leaned up property. People don't know that we're all wealthy. I'm worth hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars. And I have a trust account to that effect.
Yeah.
You understand?
I understand.
The creditors.
Yeah.
We're the full faith and credit of the United States government. We're the government. And it says that in every state constitution.
Well, you're
Every
cattle.
state
The minute you come out of your
constitution
mother, they literally ink your feet and you get fingerprinted from your feet on up, and you are literally part of the corporation that they've been trading on the open market for eons, and people don't understand that.
That's right. That's right. And we can access those funds.
Yeah. Now I understand. Yeah, I know we can, and we probably will once GESARA and NESARA comes into full play and the RV becomes the real deal, etc.
You can do it now and force GESARA and NESARA to come into play. This is the problem. We, the people, have to do it now. We are not waiting on someone else to do it for us. It won't come into play if we wait. It comes into play when we meet them in the middle.
Absolutely. I've been saying this forever. I'm getting chills talking to you. Seriously. Okay. Now here's the thing. Were you aware that Iran and North Korea were the first 2 countries to actually sign that they're part of NESARA GESARA? Were you aware of that?
I was. Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So we're on the same page. It's amazing. Did you watch, not to switch gears, did you watch 2,000 Mules? I call it 20,000 Mules because you can't pull that off with 2,000 mules. And you know what they call 2,000 horses when they get caught? 2,000 jackasses.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
So here's the thing. It wasn't even 2,000 mules. It's 200,000 mules. People just don't know that.
Yeah.
It's every Dominion machine. I mean, Dominion is what destroyed Venezuela.
Absolutely.
The same system. They tested it out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I watched that thing, David, twice, very attentively. I got an attention span of, I don't even know what to equate it to, but I got an incredible attention span. And I watched it twice, and I said to myself after the second time, I said, if you were to bring in all the justices of the United States, the Supreme Court justices, and put them in a room and have sheriffs with handcuffs, just literally handy, saying, okay, you sit down, give me your phones, no distractions, watch the movie. No distractions. After you watch the movie, if you don't come to a conclusion, irrevocable evidence, undoubtedly that this was completely a sham, we're taking you down to Guantanamo Bay. Are you on the same page? Because to me, that was a slam and dunk situation. There's no other way to put it.
Well, let me tell you another thing. It doesn't even have to be sheriffs with the Supreme Court. The sheriffs need to get their asses in their area and find those mules and arrest them and haul them before their state's legislature to testify under oath, and then demand this. The sheriff needs to demand the state legislature to revoke the delegates and put President Trump back in office.
Absolutely.
That's what needs to happen. They don't need the Supreme Court to do it.
Absolutely. Now, in regards to the
sheriff can go arrest them anyway.
Totally agreed. Totally agreed. Illegal aliens crossing the border in the United States in droves, in the hundreds of thousands, probably per week. There are untold millions at this present time. I was told, and I believe this to be true, and this is why I think Mr. Trump is as calm as a feather, is because in order for you to get your GESARA, NESARA, UBI, you have to go back to your country of origin.
That's right.
Okay, so you don't get $6,000 a month if you're in the United States illegally. So if I was you, I would get the hell out now. Go back to your countries this week, because it's coming. The $6,000 a month UBI. Go ahead.
Well, hold on a minute. I wouldn't put a value on.
Okay.
First of all, 6,000 a month. Don't put a value on that. Here's what I would do. Look at it like this. The people born in Mexico have Mexico birth certificates. That Mexico birth certificate, under the United Nations, under the International Monetary Fund, is bonded and was insured. It has a CUSIP number. It has a Cestui Que Vie trust, as all countries of the world do. Those people have their trust money already. It's already there. NESARA and GESARA are nothing more, really, than allowing us to be the co-trustees, the co-beneficiaries, and the only signatory officers of our trust, as the Public Charitable Trust tells us we are. See, all governments are formed in trust, and the government is the trustees of the people, which are the beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries have a trust indenture with millions of dollars in it, that they are co-trustees and co-beneficiaries. It's supposed to be a partnership with government. And government puts up the initial investment, bonds it, insures it, manages the securities, does a good job on their side, but they hid it from us. When we're supposed to be the co-trustee and co-beneficiary, and half that money in that trust is technically ours, and we're supposed to control it with a proper business plan and our signatures. We're the signatory officer. So people don't understand their trusts. And that's why NESARA and GESARA.
Well, Dave, I gotta have you back. Dave, I gotta have you back again. You know that, right?
Anytime, brother.
Because you are amazing. Now, here's my argument. If you can make Guatemala great again and El Salvador great again and San Salvador great again and Costa Rica great again, then there's no reason for people to come to the United States. That's why we need GESARA GESARA. But you said we have to demand it. We got to stand up. We got to beat the drum. That's what I keep telling people. Get up, stand up, learn, come into the movie theater. The movie theater is where your course resides. All right. So QFS 1776.com. Okay. You got 6 videos of just him alone. You're going to be there in the classroom for about 17 hours. Okay. No pun intended. Okay. That's how long these videos are.
Right.
There's a lot of information. You're not going to learn this information. We have to sort of like deprogram everybody and then reprogram them for the new world that's about to take place. And people don't understand.
I am somewhere everywhere in the United States every weekend. I'm in a different city. I teach 3 solid day classes on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I travel on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm home on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And when I'm home, I'm doing a million other things. I don't even have time to be home.
Absolutely.
I work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, I'm sitting in my office right now. I've already had 6 families in here that I've helped today on my day at home. Right?
Absolutely.
So,
May I?
there's probably nobody in this country that travels around and shakes the hands of the people more than I do. Not even President Trump.
I know you're real popular amongst my people, and I'm gathering enough information to think that you're probably popular in a lot of groups, not just mine. I'm hooked up with Whiplash. I'm hooked up with Emily. This thing is going to go hyper viral because I'm going to contact Emily, who is a Whiplash. There's like 300,000 people in that room alone. She's got about 40,000 people in her rooms. I got about 24. I'm the new kid on the block. Okay, I got 24,000 people in my rooms, and I got all these other platforms. We're going to get you out there. This is going to get out. This is going to grow some serious legs. So as soon as we get done and I'm uploading this, it's going to go real fast. Now, in regards to getting Mr. T back reinstated fully, where he comes and it's on mainstream media, what happens? Is this like one of those movies that sort of ends and everybody just sort of transitions away and you never hear from them ever again, like the Biden fake administration, etc.?
Well, I don't know. He's literally not even in the White House. DC.
Oh, we know that. Empty. We know that.
The new NASA headquarters, the new FBI headquarters are in Huntsville, Alabama. The State Department's up in Pennsylvania. Everything is being moved. It's been moved out of DC. I wonder if some big New York real estate developer had a hand in all that. But anyway.
I know. I see Chief Marshall's got his hand up. You want to say something? Wow. Okay.
Well, well, now you know why I didn't want to say something, because you'll learn more from this guy than any person on earth. And, I just want you to know that he's, as far as we're concerned, he's the guy that's out there doing what he does, and everything we can do to keep him out there doing what he's doing is a blessing from God. He's a great guy, and
absolutely,
I just say more power to him. And he knows the truth. He knows what's going on, and most of us, we can't even keep up to him. But it's impossible. But we get a little piece there and a little piece there, and we sure stand behind him. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got this big old whiteboard, and it says there, because I'm one of those Italians that's, running on, 8 cups of espresso. I'm constantly interrupting people, and I say, do not interrupt. Okay. I got to remind myself, because I got a lot of information too. I've been at this for a long time, not on the level of David,
right.
But, I'm there, I'm an information junkie. I can't get enough. It's like when I shut down at night after 17 hours, 18 hours, when I shut down, I really go into like a deep coma sleep. I got my meditation music on, the right amount of hertz and all of that stuff. And, but I can't get enough of this stuff, and I can't wake up the next day and do it again. And to meet a guy like you, man, listen, you are a rock star. You know that. You understand that, right?
I'm just a farm boy from Milltown in Oregon, man. I'm a humble servant of Christ. That's all. God just tells me where to go, what to do, what to say to lead this country out of Babylon. So.
And we're gonna do it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna join your crusade, and we're gonna beat the drum louder, harder, faster than ever before from the tallest mountain, and we're gonna get it done, David. Because you know what, I ain't going into communism. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you think that this dude's going into communism, you better bring a hearse and a lot of body bags. That's a fact.
How I feel too. I mean, arm up. Because we're coming for you. We, the people, are coming for you if you think it's going into communism. It's not. There are 90 million of us at least, at the bare minimum, that will arm up and visit you in your home if you think this country's coming to communism. So these liberal people that think we're going that way, they better forget it right now.
Absolutely. So, brother, I think we've hit on a lot of stuff. I know that there's new developments happening. And so maybe in a couple of weeks, if you can set up an hour and a half of your time aside, I'd love to have you back because, you bring a wealth of knowledge to the space, and people can't get enough of you. And I didn't even want to, because I have a lot of haters out there. When you're trying to climb Mount Everest and you're trying to get up to the top,
we all have a lot of.
I have a lot of haters. Yeah, I have a lot of haters out there, and they would have loved nothing more than to sabotage this and throw some stuff your way, which is a bunch of hogwash. And I said, you know what? I called my producer, Susan. Thank you, Susan. Susan's doing a fantastic job. And I said, should I make an announcement, a couple of days before to chum the water? She said, no, don't do it. Don't give them the. Should I do it 2 hours before? She said, no, don't do it.
Oh. Tell her we love her, because tell her to get ready when you upload this. See how many haters you got.
Oh, I have to manually approve. I have to manually approve each message because you have no idea. Listen, when you're going to do something, you got to be aggressive. I always say, if you want to be a nobody, it's very easy. Have nothing, do nothing, say nothing, and no one will ever bother you. And that's not who I am. And I'm sure, David, that's not who you are either.
No, it's not. I could care less about the haters. They're just a squirrel gathering nuts in my world. So. Absolutely.
Well, I probably didn't exactly hit on all the questions. I got more questions. I got Joe Rosati send me question. I got all these people running around, trying to find people like you, where you're like a diamond in the rough. You're like one in a million. And I got some impressive interviews coming up. But, a guy that literally hangs out with Donald Trump. Have you ever played golf with him? What is your relationship with him when you are with him or when you have been with him?
No, it is not like we're best friends. Okay. I'm not going to bug my president. I'm not going to go out and play golf with him. Besides, I don't play golf well. It takes far too many balls to play the way I do. They end up in the water, and I'm not a golfer. My only experience with golf balls is I'd throw them out there a few thousand feet and I'd shoot them with a rifle. And I'm pretty good at that, but not by swinging the club, Well,
absolutely.
Not by swinging the club. So no, I'm not a golfer.
David, it's been real fun. I hope we wake up these people. I hope we get our republic back soon. I hope NESARA happens soon. I hope the RV happens soon. I hope it happens very quickly, but it takes leadership, guys. It takes guys to, you got to wear your balls. You know what I mean? You got to become a man again. Eat something that gives you some testosterone.
Yeah, people don't even know what is all involved in the NESARA GESARA thing. You know, the gold's got to be married to the assets in the warehouse. And that means the management fees of the trust companies have to be paid. There are a tremendous amount of things holding it all up, but it's being held up for a reason, simply because we're not ready. When we get ready, when we the people stand up, when we're ready, it'll happen.
Yeah,
it'll happen overnight.
Now, what I understand, you know about the gold that they confiscated at the Vatican, correct?
Yeah, yes? That's just a small little part of the gold.
I understand, but I understand that there's also a lot of gold in the Philippines that hasn't been taken, hasn't been confiscated yet. Supposedly the Russian, no, sorry, the Japanese.
It doesn't need to be confiscated. It doesn't need to be confiscated. There's gold all over the world. There's gold under the airport in Switzerland. There's gold under under Westminster. There's gold stored. There's more than 1 million shipping containers full of gold. Wow. There's so much of it that you never ever have to even worry. That's not the issue. The issue is that gold is owned and it's held in trust, and it's owned by certain families, and it's held in trust, and it's held in trust for the benefit of the people of the world. It's already there. It's already ours. It's already everyone's benefit. That's not the issue. The issue is not how much gold there is. It's not where it is. It's not whether it's been confiscated or not. It's already held in trust. We don't have to worry about that issue.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what we have to worry about is the changing of our status coming out of our Babylon. When we come out of our Babylon, when we wake up, when we see the evil that they wanted to kill 90% of the world's population. And the Bible says it's going to be a third. That's genocide.
Yes.
A third of the world's population. The vast majority of those are going to be right here in the United States. Right here in the United States.
But they're not going to get their way this time.
No, they're not going to get their way this time. Your own AMA and your own CDC, those aren't even part of the United States government. They're not part of us as Americans. It's called the American Medical Association, and it has nothing to do with America. Obama told us that with Obamacare. Okay? None of that. All of that is evil.
Let's do this. Let's talk a little bit about GESARA and NESARA. What I know is government's going to be shrunk down by 95%. If I'm wrong about anything, by all means, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Please tell me. 95% government shrunk down. Everything's going to go on what's called a blockchain. You cannot finagle the bagel. The blockchain is the blockchain. No hacker could ever, because all the boxes have to agree, etc. And I know enough about it to be dangerous. XRP Ripple, the lawsuit has been settled. We proved that by going back in the Wayback Machine. We proved that with documentation, not just conversation. That's already been done. We did that with Emily from QSI. She did a bang-up job. And it was settled October 1st. We always leave the video here. At the end of this video, you'll see that video. You'll be able to watch that. Why is a company like Ripple, XRP, not allowed to leave the United States of America? Is it possible that they're merging it with the Treasury because that asset class works so darn good and it could be scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second? It's never made a mistake. It's moved already trillions of dollars, never made a mistake. And it solves the liquidity crisis, and you could build NFTs on it, and you could build federated side chains on it, and you could build other tokens on it. Is it possible that it's just too powerful of a monetary system, and it's not allowed to leave the United States, even though they have offices in the United Kingdom, in Singapore, in Japan, in Australia, in Saudi Arabia? Is it possible that Ripple is going to merge with the Treasury and become the lender of last resort? Yes or no?
It is possible. In fact, it's more than possible. It's probable. The Treasury is not the Treasury as we used to know it. Who is the Treasury owned by? It's already been audited. It's already been taken over. I don't know if you remember the pictures that great people like Richard Citizen journalists used to show us, the fences around the Treasury building, the police vehicles that were around the Treasury building, the police buses that were around the Treasury building. Treasury was already audited. It's already been taken over. Our Treasury has already got our new currency. Our depositories are already filled with gold. Everything is ready. It's all in place. Our money's at the warehouses. They just need delivered to banks. They need to exchange it. They need to pick up the old fiat currency and drop it off in New York City at the Council of Foreign Relations buildings by the truckloads and say, here, we're paying off all the debts of America. Here's all your old shit fiat currency money back. Oops. Just trying to keep it clean and I couldn't.
No, it's all right. It's fine. No, believe me, hey, sometimes I get into these rants sometimes, David, and I curse like a drunken sailor. Okay, because I'm so fed up because I'm in the movie theater and I see the movie clearly. See, I got into this XRP Ripple thing about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. I started watching a lot of videos. I've been in it for 6 years. Okay, actually, tomorrow is my 6th year anniversary of being involved in digital assets. And I'm watching all these guys and they're talking about Klaus Schwab. They're talking about Gensler. They're talking about the lawsuit. They're basically painting a picture of communism. See, I'm not here for a popularity contest. If you haven't figured it out yet, I couldn't give two shits who likes me, who doesn't like me, really. And the reality is, you know, when I started to understand this picture and I realized that there's two players on the field, the GESARA NESARA team, the QFS, which is completely different than the reset. I said, wait a minute, something's wrong here, because the XRP Army 1.0, that's all they could talk about is Gensler. The government's got it in for us. Klaus Schwab, the Foreign Council of Foreign Relations, all this bullshit, right? And nobody sees the real picture.
Right.
The real picture is here, but it's got a lot of moving dots. There's a lot of things happening here. This movie theater is very complicated. If you're a chicken brain, don't come in my movie theater because you're not going to get it. Okay.
That's
so
right.
When I started to realize this, I love to connect dots. I'm addicted to connecting dots. So when I got into connecting the dots and I started to connecting everything back to QFS, GESARA NESARA, the RV, the GCR, I said, these guys are bleeding. They're in a corner bleeding from every hole of their body. They're beaten to a pulpit. And the XRP Army 1.0 continues to talk about the same stupid thing, the lawsuit, which has been settled, et cetera. Because if that video from Emily ever gets out, and we prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt with documentation, like I said earlier, if that video ever gets out, XRP Army has zero to report. They're finished.
That's right.
You agree there's two
That's right.
people, there's two entities on the field, and one team is like, the score is like 100,000 to maybe 2?
If they even have 2.
So why do you think besides maybe merging with the Treasury, why do you think that Ripple is not allowed to leave the United States of America? Is it because it's American ingenuity? Is it possible that XRP, because there's been a lot of talk about this, that XRP is global reserve currency? We have Brad Garlinghouse on stage saying this. We have David Schwartz saying this. We have, what's her name? She was at the IMF. I can't think of her name right now. The white hair lady. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Karen Hughes?
No. I can't think of her name, but it's not important. But needless to say, Christine Lagarde. Christine Lagarde said, Bitcoin is not the one. Bitcoin is not the one. It's too slow. It's too expensive. The Lightning Network can't work. They've been trying to fix it for 5-6 years. It still doesn't work. XRP is definitely the one, but they don't want you to pay attention to it. That's why they pushed it down to the number 6 position.
Right.
Do you think that it's
No, I
possible
agree
that
with
XRP
that.
could become the new dollar?
No,
Okay.
no, because there are generations of people that like to feel money in their hand. They like to have gold and silver in their pocket. I mean, I like cash in my wallet. I like silver in my pocket. I like to have a little digital currency to exchange. We need all of it, not one, not two. We need all of it. We need to have choices, and everything needs to be asset backed for stability. And that's the problem with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not backed by assets. So it's very unstable. It goes up and down, bounces dramatically in its value day to day. We need stability.
Absolutely.
But if you watch the global currency market right now, and if you look over the last year or so, you will see the pound has dropped dramatically. You'll see the euro has dropped dramatically. You'll see the US dollar has dropped dramatically. You'll see other nations' currencies, these small sovereign nations, their currencies have raised. When those get closer together, we'll have a reset. The reset, of course, is different than NESARA. NESARA is about the trusts. NESARA GESARA is all about our trust monies, the spiritual accounts. I mean, I probably shouldn't even say because a lot of it's classified and under NDA, but, put it this way, I have all the records. I have all the records of all the accounts in all the banks of the world. I have it all.
Russia gold-backed rubles. Is this where the beginning of GESARA happens?
You think it's just Russia? What about China? China's got gold-backed currency as well. What are we waiting on? We're waiting on our people. See, those countries just do things. In our country, the people have to do it. That's how we're based. We're a bottom-up government. Those are top-down governments. China and Russia both have gold-backed currency. China's been buying gold all over the world for decades. It's up to us.
And they're good people. The Chinese people are good people. The American people are good people. The Costa Rican people are good people. It's the governments that suck.
All people of the world are good people. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. Every one of us.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter the color of our skin. The color of our skin, they use that to divide us.
Yeah.
They use that to divide us. They use language to divide us. They use definitions to divide us.
Trump lost $4 billion becoming the president of the United States, even though there was a fix even with Mrs. Clinton, which I don't believe she's around anymore. That's a whole other story. And he did lose $4 billion being the president of the United States. Do you think that there's a possibility, because they've created this vacuum in the media world, whether be it social media or be it television media, do you think that he's going to become the biggest media mogul in the world in the next years to come because they created the debacle?
Yes, but I don't think there should be a media mogul. Okay. I think people like you, small independent journalists, are the media. Okay. It's not these big corporations. I think Trump will help bring that in because he's got to take down the big six, right?
Yeah.
The big six, who runs them? Khazarian Jews run the big six. Everybody that works for them is pretty much a Khazarian Jew. Ukraine's got to fall, and so does Jerusalem. The Khazarian Jews been the problem the whole time. They're the mafia of the world. So
Absolutely. Brother, it's been real. I've had incredible, I mean, my brain's about to explode with all this information, but I love it.
Well,
We got to definitely
call me anytime.